What's going on, guys? Ahmad Taha here from Realty World, and today I want to talk to you about hiring a trusted contractor and how you go about that. The reason I wanted to talk about this in this video is because I know a lot of people that struggle with this. They feel uneasy about hiring a new contractor. They don't know where to start. And out here where I am in the greater Boston area, there's been a lot of scams with contractors. Guys showing up to people's doors, offering to do driveways, offering to do different tasks, taking a deposit, and then never showing up ever again. So for that reason, a lot of people tend to feel uneasy about this. So here's my first tip on this subject. Number one is referrals. Referrals are one of the best sources for pretty much anyone in any area of work that you need, whether it's a contractor, an electrician, a plumber, an attorney. If you can get somebody that you trust to tell you, hey man, I had a great experience with this person and I think you would do very well with them, that is worth a lot. That is gold. And so when it comes to referrals, I would start with friends, family, perhaps neighbors that have had similar projects done to their homes as what you're trying to get, and ask different people. Get a few different names, ask them what their experience was, and take it from there. If you have a experienced realtor or a property manager that you deal with regularly, they should provide you with a detailed list of vendors that you can call that are trusted, that they've used before, and that can also be a source of referrals. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, if you don't have that at all, if you don't know anyone that can give you a referral or anything like that, what do you do then? Well, I like to go to the internet. Obviously, it's 2025, almost 2026. We can do a lot now with the internet, with AI. So that's where I would start. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to this, it won't necessarily get you the cheapest contractor, but the point is to get a contractor that you trust, that will do the work on time, and that is well worth your money that you pay them. So I would start with Google, look at things like Google reviews, see that other people had a positive experience with that contractor. And then beyond that, I would also look at Facebook groups that you can be a part of. There's plenty of contractor groups on Facebook. You can join them and you can write a post in there saying, hey, I'm looking for such and such to do this task. And you'll often have tons of people reply. And then from there, you would vet those people. So when you're dealing with a person or a company that doesn't have a Google page or a Better Business Bureau account that you can easily verify online, how do you verify them? Well, that's a great point, and I'm going to get right into this. In order to verify a contractor, you need to ask a few questions, very important questions. The first one is you want to get references. You want to know that they've actually worked with other people and they've done a good job. You want to see pictures of projects that they've done for other people, and you want to have a way to verify that. Maybe you can call the people that they've done that work for and say, hey, my name is so-and-so. I'm looking to hire this guy. I heard you've worked with them before. I'm curious, how was your experience? As a landlord, this is pretty much exactly what we do with tenants when we're trying to verify that they're good tenants with their previous landlords. So this is a very important thing to make sure you don't end up with somebody that screws you over. The second thing is licenses and insurance. You want to make sure that the person that you hire is both qualified for the job that they're applying for and they're licensed and bonded so that if anything goes wrong, you are completely covered. You want to get proof of their license, and oftentimes you can go online and look this up on a state website, and you also want to get proof or copies of their insurance so that you know, again, you're covered if something goes horribly wrong. And if they can provide those things to you, odds are they're credible and reputable contractors. And then the last thing is the payment system. This is a crucial point that you have to address early on. Otherwise, you could end up with surprises or even an unfavorable payment term. So when you're interviewing contractors, you want to ask them, hey, how do you typically take payment? How do you divide those payments in a way that is fair for both you as the contractor and me as the consumer? Oftentimes, people will do a portion of the payment out front. Here in Massachusetts, there's actually state laws around it. And forgive me because I haven't brushed up on it in a while, but the way that I do it with the people that I hire is thirds. We take a third of the total invoice amount up front, and then a second third when we're halfway through after our rough inspections, if we're doing any kind of major construction to a home. And then usually we take the last third at the end after everything is finished and done. Here's another important tip. If you're having permits pulled for this project, you don't want to pay out the contractor completely until that permit is closed. So typically what we do is we'll hold back $1,000 from the entire invoice, and we won't pay that out until we know that that contractor has gone through with the city and closed their permits. That's another important thing that you want to keep an eye on. whoever you contract, you want to make sure they pull the proper permits and they do everything according to the law, because if not, that could get you in hot water down the line. So those are my major points for this. Is number one, look at referrals. Number two, use the internet to your advantage. And number three, do some thorough investigation with these contractors. Ask these interview questions that I mentioned to you. Figure out if they're licensed, insured, and bonded. Figure out that they have qualified references, and make sure that they have a payment system that works for you and that abides by your state law, obviously. And that's pretty much it, guys. I have found in my experience, when you meet somebody and they can see that you're very thorough and detail oriented, just by asking those questions, they won't want to mess around with you. And if there's somebody that is a bad apple or that does have bad intentions or is trying to scam on you, that will immediately turn them off and send them running. So in general, it's good to have this attitude with whoever you do business with, whether that's a contractor, whether that's a new attorney that you're hiring, or even tenants that you're bringing into the property. Always do a thorough interview and make sure you're detail oriented with the people that you work with. If you guys have specific questions on this, or if you're in the greater Boston area and you need some kind of referral for a contractor or somebody else, definitely send me a DM or drop a comment. I'd love to help you. Thank you guys for watching.